Hi, my name is Jussi Svensson. I'm an R&D engineer at Frese. I developed the Frese COMBIFLOW, and I would like to go through the mounting instruction. We have the new Frese COMBIFLOW right here. This is a DN20, 1 inch. Inside we have our mounting instruction. And as you can see, a valve. So these protection caps are no longer needed and can be thrown out. And then we have the valve ready to be set up. We're going to need the mounting instruction and the tech note, which we have printed out from the website. We have our valve, which looks like this. And important to follow the flow in the arrow's direction. On this one we have the arrow here, so the flow goes out here. Flow in, and flow out, and flow in, flow out, and flow out. And these go to the fan coil. And we have heating on one side, cooling on the other side. Very important not to mix them. Heating must be on the correct side and cooling must be on the correct side. And we have heating in, and heating out, cooling out. These two connect to the fan coil. To connect the valve we have couplings, and they come in various sizes depending on the size of the valve, along with a PT coupling. We'll have to look in the tech note for that. In the tech note we can see that with the DN20 housing that we have here, then to make it a 3/4 inch we'll need this following item number. To mount the COMBIFLOW you will need 6 couplings. The couplings comes in pairs of 2s in a bag, and the COMBIFLOW has 6 ports, so you will need 3 pairs of normal couplings. If you wish to measure the differential pressure, you will need a coupling with a PT plug. The coupling with the PT plug replaces one of the normal couplings. The COMBIFLOW thus uses 5 normal couplings and a coupling with PT plug. The spare coupling can then be thrown out or used for another valve. If you have 2 COMBIFLOWs, you will therefore need 2 couplings with PT plugs and 5 pairs of couplings, or 6 pairs if you don't need to measure the differential pressure. So we have 3 of these now, 3 of these coupling sets. These are easily mounted. Now, in our example here, we are going to want a PT plug in order to measure the differential pressure, P1 and P2. So we'll need a PT coupling on the upper one, and they come in packages of 1. Remember to tighten the couplings. Now that the couplings have been set, we have a desire to measure it. That is done by simply inserting P1 and P2. And now we can measure the differential pressure. So we are going to mount the actuator now, and according to the mounting instruction, the actuator is simply put on here. We have an actuator here in a brown box. Quickly unbox this. We have a very nice Frese actuator. And this one is, according to the image, simply put on. For it to fit, we're going to turn this one so that it is square compared to the holes, same as the actuator, so that we can simply put this on. And once it's on, simply turn it. And it doesn't matter if it's one way or the other way. Once it's turned, it's locked in place and doesn't get off. We have cooling in on port 1 and heating in on port 2. You can manually set the actuator by clicking down the red button on the side and then moving the black handle towards heating or cooling. Setting it in the middle position closes the valve. Note that the middle position changes depending on your minimum and maximum values. The valve closes in the middle. The actuator's middle position changes depending on your maximum and minimum. In our case, our minimum is 17%, our maximum is 72%. If you use the formula in the tech note, you get 60%, which is our new closing position. It is also possible to remove and clean the DP controller. Remember to remove the pressure before removing the cap. The cap is easily removed. And inside you'll find the regulating unit, which needs to be yanked out. This will enable you to remove the DP controller and clean it. Simply plug in the regulating unit straight into the valve and click it in. And then reattach the PT plug. We have now attached the actuator to the Modbus and the power, 24 volts AC. And it is possible to give the Modbus actuator the address by pushing on the push button here, and then go directly to the Modbus and program it. But we are going to use our handheld tool, our AST20 handheld tool, which comes in a nice packaging. The handheld tool comes with a 7-pin cable. This one simply clicks on. There we go. And this one fits right into the actuator down here. The handheld tool enables us to give the actuator an address so that we don't have to use the push button. We can do that under bus configuration and simply give it an address here. And we'll give it the address 211. And now it is possible to connect to the actuator through the BMS system. We can also configure the maximum flow setting on the heating and cooling side under Field Device Configuration. And looking at the tech note, we have an example of setting the cooling to 750 liters and the heating to 250 liters. Looking on the previous page, we have the table for the heating and cooling flows. We have a DN20 valve here. And if we want 1500 liters per hour on the cooling side, then we need to set the minimum to 17%. And if we want 500 liters on the heating side, we need to set it to 72% on the maximum. That is configured on the handheld tool or in the BMS system. under field device, set the minimum to 17%. And set the maximum to 72%. And once that is done, it is saved to the actuator and we can unplug the handheld tool. The actuator will now run from 0 to 100%, where we have set that the 0% is 1500 liters on the cooling side and 100% is 500 liters on the heating side. I hope this video has helped you install your valve correctly. Thank you for watching.